Well, the Philippines have yet to win a game, but boy, if they could win this one, they'd be over the moon because it would ensure they would remain in Division A for the next cycle. The same can be said for Chinese Taipei, although they had visions of qualifying for the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup. They will have to settle again for the classification matches. And it's not what they envisioned, but on the other hand, you know, it's a tougher competition these days now that you've got Australia and New Zealand here.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Jeff. Thank you for introductions there. This is great to be here. I hope wherever you are watching this game, you're perhaps one of the fans of these two teams. They've really played their part in terms of making this a very enjoyable tournament to be at. But the truth of it is, Jeff, somebody is going to get relegated out of these bottom four teams, and you do not want it to be your team. So the winner of this will get the satisfaction of knowing that they do not need to worry too much tomorrow. And the loser, of course, obviously will be playing a one-on-one face-off game.
Well, first of all, let me apologize. I'm not sure I introduced you. Mick Bet. Did you introduce yourself?
I did.
I just had a gentleman come up from behind me right in the middle of commentary to ask if everything was okay
with your internet.
I thought there was like an emergency. So I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by the erstwhile Mick Bet, I should say. And we're going to be bringing you the action.
The team in blue, Chinese Taipei.
Hello, everybody. If you're just tuning in, you're looking live here at the FIBA Women's Asia Cup in Bengaluru, India. It's classification day here. We've got Chinese Taipei in front of us being introduced to the court. They'll be taking on the Philippines, and the winner will ensure its Division A status in this FIBA Asia. So it's a very important game. We just watched New Zealand ensure their status in Division A. They beat Democratic People's Republic of Korea. So now it's all about Chinese Taipei and the Philippines. And the winner of this game will face New Zealand, obviously, tomorrow. The loser will face the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Both of these teams would have had visions of qualifying for the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup, but they needed to get a top four finish, which meant they needed to win their quarterfinals yesterday. It didn't happen. So now they need to rebound and come out and get an important win for their nation's basketball programs. So the Philippines being introduced here to the crowd. You need no reminding how big basketball is in the Philippines. They have an incredible appetite for the game, and I know that down in Manila and everywhere else they'll be pulling hard for the Filipinos as they go up against Chinese Taipei. Before we start the final warm-ups and look at the rosters, we're going to have the playing of the national anthems for both of these countries. So the referees for today's game from New Zealand, India, and Australia, Pickering, Baig, and Reed. And we're going to look at both rosters here, Mick, and I don't know about you, but are we going to see the same thing that we saw yesterday from Chinese Taipei, where 5 in, 5 out, as they played against Japan?
It's an interesting thought, actually, Jeff. I wonder if she might stick with that. It proved very frustrating to play against. But there's the Chinese Taipei team. Bao Shilei down number 17, you'll know her as Joy Burke. Plays her ball in Australia. Other players to look for: low pin. I think it's low pin, isn't it that way? Yeah. Number 5 and fan number 7. Sorry, hand number 7. The two Huangs there, Hang Fanshan and Huang Pinjon, will play the forward position. Bao Shilei the center, Cheng as well. It's an interesting team. They can all play, they can all shoot a bit. Everything revolves around that lady there, Bao Shilei, number 17, who plays a lot of face-up ball, but she was warming up with back to the basket moves. So I wonder if they'll pump it in early to begin with in this game. Philippines, well, they're all run, gun, holler and follow team. They've got all the playground moves. They all been playing since very young age of in their lives. Watch out for Sambile, number 8, played pretty well yesterday, but Pontejos, the quiet game herself, has been very, very dominant in previous games. There's the 5, Kevin Bin Lim, Rizaltai, Amalzan and D. Amalzan had a good game 3 days ago in the last group game. Here she is, number 14. So we've got a couple of players we've highlighted. Lim, number 9, plays decently. Didn't play very well yesterday. Scored only 2 points, I think, in the 4th quarter. She'll need a big game today, as Coach Aquino knows only too well that a win will take a lot of the pressure off tomorrow's games. A loss will put them under big time pressure in terms of having to win. Sambile, to your right, had a good game against China, 10 points, 3 rebounds. And Huang Pinshan, 17 points and 4 rebounds against Japan in that losing effort. Although it has to be said, head coach Cheng there was very, very good in her ability to frustrate the Japanese with a 5-on, 5-off philosophy that went deep into the game, Jeff, before they really got consistent minutes out of their starting 5. But it wasn't until the final quarter until the Japanese started to pull away. But there was a golfing class, it has to be said. Aquino not had much joy this trip so far. It's 4 losses in a row. He's looking for his first victory today, and it has to be said, this team here may be favourites right now to get relegated tomorrow, along with the North Koreans. The North Koreans will play the loser of this game, and it is up to Aquino now to make sure it's not the Philippines that end up with that losing game. So both teams into the arena. Chinese Taipei in blue and the Philippines in white. The Filipinas in the white shirts. All handshakes through. The referees get a handshake each. And eventually we will be set to play.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Bengaluru, Italy. No, we're in India, aren't we? Bengaluru, India. And it is the classification game between the Philippines and Chinese Taipei. Had some pasta this morning. This is an important game as these teams try to ensure their Division A status. Yes, we are on the subcontinent in India, the lovely city of Bengaluru. And it's the Philippines searching for that first win. And Cabinman drives in.
That's the drive there to start things off for the Philippines. This is going to be a fairly great high-low.
Oh, Bao probably couldn't believe how open she was. She missed the shot, and you have to think with the Philippines, having just played China, this must feel like a dream. No offense to Chinese Taipei, but the size of China is so great that maybe they feel like they can compete better against Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, that's a good point. A good point. I think they're still going to have this issue of high-low that Chinese Taipei are going to keep on milking, I'm sure. Here it is again.
I suppose it's imperative for the team in white to have a good start, and already Bao, they can't keep her out of that low block, that lower part, the low post.
I just wonder how they're going to deal with this. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Philippines just try some full-court defense to get it all mixed up maybe.
Got the turnover, back to Huang. And the turnover, now Chinese Taipei take the lead. You don't want to turn the ball over if you're the Philippines. I mean, you never obviously want to turn it over, but it's one element of their game that they just cannot afford to do to beat these teams in Division A.
No, you've got to give yourself a chance of a shot every time down the floor, haven't you, really?
And you got to rebound. And the shot was off, but another offensive rebound, and already it's feed the ball inside the Bao or let her get the offensive rebound and score with a putback. 6 unanswered points for Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, it's quite clear where the Philippines are going to have troubles, isn't it, really, in this game? They're going to have to shoot very well.
And Almathon took the three, didn't follow the shot.
Well, right now, Jeff, they're one pass, one shot, and all Taipei are going to do is come down and throw the ball inside, so you have to take more care of the ball and be a bit more patient, perhaps. Run a 20-second offense.
Another one down low. It's like a broken record, isn't it? Inside, and finally the Philippines stopped the right. Huang Fanshan pulled up the dribble, now inside to Bao. They've got to come up with a different plan. I mean, you've got a fronter on, you know, if you're going to play behind her, you need to have somebody come and drop down and help. And nice drive from Cabin Ben.
Wow, great change of direction and change of pace too.
I've enjoyed watching her play more and more, actually. She seems to have gotten, she's become more influential.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, good little guard. Didn't see the change of direction and pace there, but nice little move there. Get up on the backboard.
Already a change in strategy with Chinese Taipei just bringing one player in as a replacement and not all 5. Wonder what's going on over there. It's Lan, number 7.
Just the, that was just yesterday's philosophy, Jeff.
Yes, of course. Because the Japanese play at 100 miles an hour, don't they? And you're going to get tired.
I don't know why you'd say it for the Japanese only, but maybe the fact that you've got Baoshilei in there, you're just going to try and dominate that as much as possible here. I mean, they've 3 times now thrown it down low.
And it's a 10-7 game, so very important play there by Cabin Ben, and now a little bit of full court pressure. Watch how they defend. They got Cabin Ben on Bao, and they don't need to get it this time to her. Cheng puts it up from the line. Cabin Ben. Oh, that time a little bit out of control from Cabin Ben, and Bao helps her up.
You just figure, so you've got the great pick and roll, and the defense doesn't show over the pick and roll, so you just pull up for a little jump shot. Just clear the lane. Is trying to get to the hoop all the time, and there's too much traffic in there. Here's the high low.
And another one for Bao. So it's a problem already.
She has 8 of the 14 for Chinese Taipei.
And Lim penetrates. And the drive. Ping Shin, Huang Ping Shin. They've got a few Wongs out there. Here's Lan. guess they don't want to be too one-dimensional, just dumping it down low to Bao, but if it's working, you'd think that Chinese Taipei would just go to it every time, wouldn't you, until they can stop it?
No, exactly right. Exactly right.
Resulté knocks it in. It's back to a 5-point deficit. Now line, here we go, and this time Almanthon, and a foul called on Bao for shielding Almanthon.
Yeah, strange call, isn't it? I have to see a replay of that maybe to get a full...
Well, no argument from Bao.
Yeah.
So she comes out. And Lin comes in, number 27. Also coming in, number 2, Huang. And seeing that ball go through the basket has to give this Filipino team a little bit of confidence.
You just see, Jeff, where the Chinese Taipei attack just gone straight for the jugular with a 3, haven't they?
They did. They popped it from behind the arc. Remember, the winner of this game clinches the Division A status, and the travel has been called.
Tough move there as Almathan went to the hoop. Here's the 3. And just pops to the perimeter. Nobody picks her up.
Well, just a little bit of being slow there by Almathan. I mean, you know, you've got the problem when you've got Bao in there. So Animam in the game now. I like her defensively and her energy. And that was well short by Lin. Bernardino drives in, tries to get it back to Animam. What are you doing, Bernardino? I mean, what kind of play is that?
Just a little out of control, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Foul from 28 Miranda as they hustled back.
Good D from Bernardino. She thought it was funny. She's smiling.
She'd run into the Coach Aquino, hadn't she? That's what it was. On the follow through.
Land runs baseline. And Huang throws it right into the hands of Sambile. And that was very poor. And Miranda gets lucky because she rushed up the layup. And at least her teammates hustled down, so she got another opportunity.
Yeah, she was quick to get back in bounds. I think that was the important thing. You're going to see the turnover there. Quick pass to Gemma Miranda. Goes up, no contact, but look how quickly she gets back on court. Oh, and thank you very much.
You got to be in a rush, but not in too much of a rush.
Yeah,
she was in a bit of a rush on that fast break.
Yeah.
So a bit of good fortune, and we got ourselves a game, folks. Chinese Taipei leading just 17-13 over the Philippines, and with Bao has the 8 points and 3 rebounds, Cheng the 3 assists. Go back to that point about how maybe by the Philippines playing China in their quarterfinal, that couldn't have been really a harder opponent for them, and to be able to come out and play against the Philippines,
they must feel
like they've hit the jackpot
because of it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know, they've got all the incentive in the world to come out here, and this is perhaps a difficult game for Chinese Taipei because they know they're supposed to win this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
I mean, we saw the same thing in the last game
New Zealand and
New
Korea.
Zealand.
Yeah. North Korea.
Although all the pressure was on the North Koreans, it seemed like in the end.
Yeah.
They just didn't cope well at all. They probably missed Pak, who was injured. Animam, good job rebounding that ball in front of Cheng. Oh, Cheng with the foul. That was coming down hard on Animam, fighting for position.
Yeah, I guess it's a needless foul in some ways, but in other aspects, Jeff, you're making a statement on your defense. Well, so coach is going to sub her out now.
Coach had a word with Cheng, and now the assistant coach has a word.
He can't get close. He can't sit down, can she?
Look at that. At the top of your screen to the right. Cheng's getting a real lecture. Now a pat on the head. It's okay. Do better next time. And now Miranda comes up top. Miranda over to Pontejos, who's in there. And a little bit of an air ball. Sambile is going to have to chuck it up. Animam.
That's tough luck because just didn't need the dribble, did she?
No, she had to get it up quick, or Sambile had to take the shot. Chen goes right. And the foul.
Good quick move here from Cheng. Jumped into the defense. It's Bernardino with the foul, number 3. Very, very busy little player is Cheng.
So less than 3 minutes to go, and if you're the Philippines, you have to like your position. You're still in there. Now yesterday it was Chinese Taipei that seemed to be playing mind games with Japan, bringing in 5 off the bench every minute and a half.
Yeah, it was. It did its job too, because Japan didn't really get hold of that game till late third quarter.
Pontejos. Oh, nice pass, Pontejos. And Miranda missed the shot. Coming into this game, if you were going to try to take something away from Chinese Taipei, if you're the Philippines, what would that have been? Bow? Or?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, sorry, I thought the other way around.
If you were picking your poison.
No, absolutely right. The effect of Bao is pretty important for Chinese Taipei. I think without them, as you're seeing right now, they're not as potent. In fact, it becomes a very even match, doesn't it? I think Bao is the one icebreaker for these two teams. Another foul here as they try to guard Almazan in there. No, Animam, sorry. She's a big presence in there, Animam, Jeff, isn't she? Number 10 for the Philippines.
Yeah, she's the biggest player on the court, I think.
This will be the 4th team foul for, it's the 5th team foul, so there should be 2 shots here for the Philippines.
7th team foul.
No, that's the
number
sorry,
7.
That's the,
I gotcha, sorry.
Number 7 is flashing.
And then they'll replace it with 5.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, you're right. So, an opportunity, and this is not what the doctor ordered for the Philippines. Again, you don't want to turn the ball over, obviously, but you want to make your free throws.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the essence for any coach. You look down your free throw stats every time you lose a game.
Well, and they've missed a couple. And carrying the ball, turns it back over.
You know, and the referee let Wu get away with the first carry, but as soon as he got to make some progress into the lane with the second carry, he said, no, you're not having that one.
Nice drive from Bernardino. She goes,
Beautiful
you know what?
move.
I'm missing free throws, but I'm making my drives.
And great, and set up well with the ball handling too. The playground stuff is coming out. Both these teams are very good playground players. Or decent playground skills.
Lin online, good. 22-15. If the three-pointers start to fall for Chinese Taipei, it could be good night Irene for the Philippines.
I think both of these teams too, but you're right. Lin's the first one to.
Oh, that is nice basketball from Bernardino. And how in the world is she able to drive on consecutive trips down the floor?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great question to ask.
See the two-point shooting there inside the arc. Pretty good for both teams, in fact. Huang blocked. And now Sambile handed off to Bernardino. And 45 seconds remain in this opening quarter. So they'll get 2 for 1, won't they?
Yes.
If they can rebound. Nice penetration and just a terrible shot from Pontejos.
I don't like this call either. Bernardino gets called for possibly jumping over the back with a tip backwards.
But you've got to come up with a better shot than that. The reverse layup, fling it up there.
Yeah, it was laid, it was laid on a plate for her, wasn't it? Just you got no control over the ball once you spun it that hard off the backboard.
I don't even think it hit the backboard.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
In fact, I don't think it came within a foot of the backboard. So Chin, and they leave Wu open, and Wu doesn't need inviting. She takes it.
Lin, Wu, back-to-back threes for Chinese Taipei.
So instead of being down by 3, you trail by 8. And Miranda doesn't even get a shot off. I think she was aware of the shot clock, but not good execution. That is what Aquino is saying. You've got to know how much time is on the clock. 25-17, Chinese Taipei just patting their lead a little bit there at the end of the quarter. Philippines haven't hit a 3. Chinese Taipei have 3. And that pretty much is the difference in this game. Well, Bao, not surprisingly, the focal point of the attack for Chinese Taipei early in this game. She has 8 points, but the Philippines were hanging around and they closed within 3. They went back up, trailed by 5 again, and they had a chance to get it back to 3. And kind of a lazy attempt by Pontejos on a reverse layup stayed out, and then the Philippines go down and hit a 3-pointer, and there you have an 8-point lead.
Yeah, Jeff, and I think you mentioned talking about the 3-point line. If the Chinese Taipei open up the 3-point line, then it's going to be a long night for the Philippines. And Wu and who made the second Lin. Lin and Wu made back-to-back threes for the Philippines. And if you look at the 8-point lead, and that's 6 points of that right there. So I agree with you. That's a good point to make, that if Chinese Taipei become the more successful from the 3-point line, then it becomes even more difficult for the probably so-called underdogs coming into this game.
Second quarter action underway here in Bengaluru, India. And the 3-pointer from Cabin Bin. She's been more good than bad today, that's for sure. She's come out and provided some impetus on offense.
Poor turnover there from Huang Fanshan. Jeff just passing the ball to the wing to a player who wasn't even looking.
Do you think Bernardino and Cabin Bin could function well together?
Interesting, isn't it? Best we've seen of Bernardino, that's for sure. And
oh, nice penetration and nice finish this time from Almathon. And you have to wonder. They're giving up some easy looks inside. So Aquino has spotted a weakness if they get the penetration and the player's cutting in from the baseline. We've seen it a couple of times. And now the ball goes off the hands of Chinese Taipei. That was Cheng. And now it's back over to the Philippines. And just like that, they can tie it with a 3 or pull to within 1. And
having been a little fortunate there that the deflection was off the Chinese Taipei defender. It was very slight.
Open again. It's online. Oh, unlucky. Rattles out.
Yeah, that looked good, didn't it?
She's feeling it. Rizal Tai is guarding Lin. This is interesting with Castro. Oh, Bao decides to step out. Kind of her advantage. I mean, we've seen her knock in the three, and it's not that she can't shoot the three, but you know what? She can post up down low.
It wasn't a shot to take, was it?
She doesn't need to draw the defense out.
No.
Because they haven't stopped her down low yet.
No, exactly right. Now they got Castro into guard her, so it's a bit of a bigger option for the Philippines.
Well, that's a good point. And that's probably what she was thinking. Well, Castro says, I'm going to step outside.
Anything you can do?
I can do as well. Miss a jump shot. Huang.
Now she's going to go inside.
Low, wide open. And Bao. Look at Cabin Ben hustle. Oh, I think they thought they might have missed that. But no arguments from Bao. Bao just kind of takes things in stride, doesn't she? She doesn't really complain too much.
And didn't get flustered much either. She's a very buoyant, positive person. She's over there now clapping her hands for the team.
I don't think Chinese Taipei will be worried. Oh, the timeout was called by the Philippines.
Yeah, I wonder why. They've got the ball, so I mean they've got a big chance. Another opportunity here to draw close. They've had a couple so far. There's Kevin been confirmed as leading scorer. Bernardino, Rizal Tai, and Lim for two. Bao with 8. Be interested to see how many she has at half-time, Jeff, because she had an early 8. Her numbers this tournament have been good, but not, let's write home about them. She's got a 17, a 6, a 12, and a 7 in yesterday's game. So rebounding-wise, 16 rebounds yesterday, 10 in game 1. So only the 2 games that she's got double figures, and tallest player on the floor for Chinese Taipei.
Oh, nice pass, nice work, and the reach and the foul on Chinese Taipei. Nice spot by the ref.
Yeah, I think it's on Lin, isn't it? 27 Lin Yuting. Just as who was cutting Jeff? Rizal Tai made the pass.
And that's not the turnover that you want when you're playing well, getting to within 3. Chinese Taipei come up with the interception. Huang now, Pen Chen, and to Ching, and cha-ching, puts it up and in. Ring it up. And it's back up to a 5-point lead. And that was a good spot again by the ref. Ching reaching in for the foul. Cabin pretty much is at the center of everything good right now that's happening for the Philippines.
Yeah, so, and you mentioned about bringing Bernardino in, that the sort of a combo guard situation. It wouldn't be a bad idea, that's for sure. It's a great crossover.
Oh, she is just playing good basketball, but didn't get any love from the rim.
Deserved to, didn't she? Castro the foul. So now they got the matchup problems because Castro goes out, so Bao guarded by Almathan. Last time they went to this, they threw it inside straight away. High-low option.
Ching from inside the arc, and talk about no love from the rim. That looked like it was in.
Very unfortunate.
Well, if it happens at one and it happens at the other. Now here's Sambile for 3.
Well, the rainbow shot, that one, that miles up in the air.
I wasn't sure that was coming down.
Saw a couple of those yesterday. Played well, Sambile.
I think he hit that pigeon that's been flying around in the arena. Saw a couple of feathers drop. And Bao misses down low. Well, Philippines with a chance to pull level, or maybe even take the lead if Sambile has her way. She brings some rain, but again, this time off the front of the rim. And the short jumper, and just great play by Lin, but Almathon needed to grab that ball.
And it fell just into Bao's lap, didn't it? So double figures for the tall player from Chinese Taipei, Bao.
Lim just loses it. They can't afford to turn it over. Look at this. It leads to points for the other end. Just like that, the lead goes back to 6 points.
As dominant as Chinese Taipei look, you look at the score and you think, well, it's only 6 still. It's back-to-back baskets.
Oh, nice. Resultat looked like she had it. And there for the follow, and Almathon, and all of a sudden it's almost impossible to get the ball to fall for the Philippines. Huang over to low pin. Now will this be a chance to run? Yes it is. It's Lim up ahead with a fast break. And Lim turned what appeared to be an easy opportunity almost into giving possession back.
Well,
what happened there?
Trying to draw contact. I think there was contact, and the referee just swallowed his whistle, said no, we're not having that. He subs in. I think there's 3 for each team.
Well, it looks as if the Philippines are now mired in a shooting slump, and this is the most dangerous part of the game for them. What do they need to do to snap out of it, Mick?
Got to get some layups, haven't you? The problem is they've just had one layup, which they blew. Now they're going to have to get back on D.
Oh, good hustle from Bernardino.
Wow, that was good. Now you've got your combination, Jeff, Bernardino and Kevin Bin. Only you don't, sorry, do you?
And that's Bernardino taking a ridiculous shot.
You've got Tonko out there with Bernardino.
How do you justify taking that shot if you're Bernardino? It's just,
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess in some ways she's had a couple of moves to the hoop that look pretty good, a couple of penetrations. So,
but you're about 12 feet away, shooting over the defense on the run. Nobody's in position for any rebound.
Every day in practice, Coach. Every day in practice. I practice.
Yeah, but you miss it and it triggers a break the other way.
But Coach, you got to let me play.
3-pointer, and with that, the lead now back to 9. So a cold spell proving costly for the Philippines. And Chinese Taipei now starting to assert themselves. And I think Aquino needs a timeout. Quickly up the floor.
It's a good rebound from Bernardino too. Let's see what she does with this one, Jeff.
She's better in this situation in the middle of the floor, but then she turns it right over.
Yeah, needed to run an offense, doesn't it? Slow the ball down a bit.
As complimentary as we were of Bernardino early, she's not done well the last couple of minutes.
So this substitution has really turned things around slightly, hasn't it? Gone from about a 6-point game to 11-point game.
Well, it was a 2-point game.
Yeah. But I think this group was still on the bench then, weren't they? Here is your timeout you wanted.
I think you got to get Cabin Ben back in. Aquino is, as you look at the replay.
Yes, Tonko's receiving
catching
the full
the wrath.
Yeah.
I think Aquino has to be mad because his team is right there. And now it's an 11-point deficit. See if lighting a fuse under this team is going to help it if they come back out and play with a little bit more smarts over the next 3:18. Because sometimes the Philippines kind of drift into a pickup game mode.
Yes, oh yeah.
As was the evidence of the Bernardino shot attempt.
Sometimes they're at their most creative when they score a lot of, they can score points in a hurry sometimes because you're in that broken play mode the whole time.
36-25, Chinese Taipei on top of the Philippines and looking to pull even further ahead. Into the corner, on the wing rather. And now over to Lin. And a push. Called by Wang.
Well, it was D that went to the floor. Raiza Rosa, D, number 15. And just watching her play defense, she gets in great defensive position. She loves to move her feet quickly and close out on the man with the ball.
Well, she's got a good name for that, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She plays good D.
Yeah, well done, Jeff.
Up, traveling on Sambile.
Play was there too. Nice little handoff, space for the jump shot, just a little shuffle of feet.
I think we saw all of the frustration coming out from Aquino in that last time out because he knows, okay, maybe the World Cup berth isn't going to happen, but we've got every chance of staying in this division.
It's going to be a good game tomorrow, whoever it is, Korea play, either of these two teams.
You're talking about the Democratic People's Republic of Korea?
Yeah,
the North Korea. D drives in. And, well, to be fair, she did have a good look. She just didn't finish. But the points have just dried up all of a sudden for the Filipinos. Wang takes the attempt.
Well, I guess one way of looking at Jeff, the Philippines can say, oh, it's a terrible mistake from Bernardino, and coach is going to go
ballistic.
Aquino's going to go through his emotions today. Here we go, another sub coming in.
She's coming out, Bernardino. It's been a tough old 3 or 4 minutes for her.
Can she get to the chair before Coach Aquino?
She knows.
Yeah.
And she might be getting the hairdryer treatment any minute now.
She's going right to the end of the bench. Safe place.
Yep, exactly.
I was about to say, luckily for Philippines, that Chinese Taipei really haven't turned the screw as much as they should have done, perhaps.
But they never really do they?
No.
And you got the 3 attempt, no good. I mean, remember, they were up on New Zealand in the group phase by 17. And New Zealand came back and beat them.
I do remember, yes. Yeah.
It seemed to be they were in the process of turning the screw, but then they became unglued.
Unhinged, whatever you want, yeah.
Unhinged.
Get
Not
a couple
mentally.
of buckets in before the break, Jeff. They'll still have a chance, the Philippines.
Absolutely. You know, Pontejos, they could do with her hitting a 3 or 2.
Oh, she needs to stop dribbling, I think. Get the ball moved. You can't just dribble around for half an hour and then expect somebody to get the job done.
You're talking about Pontejos?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, get the ball down below the foul line. Get it into the corner. Get it reversed. Get everybody a touch. Too content to dribble these days, Jeff. Where's the game gone wrong?
Yeah, you got to pass it.
Yep.
Wu. Lin. And Miranda with the elbow.
Yep, good call.
And
I think the referees let Miranda get away with the first one, but when he saw the second one,
yeah, look at this.
There's one. And
yeah,
then
that's just, you know, stupid basketball.
Yeah.
You know that's not, you're spot on. I mean, she got away with the first one. I'm almost surprised that she hasn't come out. And they end up costing him 2 points. It has been an absolute horror show for Chinese Taipei the last 4 minutes. And you're right, Chinese Taipei haven't stepped on the accelerator. Pontejos. Boy, I think Coach Aquino probably feels like he has to have the patience of Job sometimes with this team. I don't want to be too hard on the Philippines because the thing is they played well for the first 15 minutes. But what's frustrating is that, you know, when you have that opportunity, and it looked like they had an opportunity maybe to get a big result today, they just haven't played well. And especially turnovers and elbows for offensive fouls, you know, giving up layups on inbounds plays.
Okay, Jeff, I agree with you. Let's see what they come and run here. They need points here before the break, right? They'll probably run for the last shot, so it's probably not the ideal situation. They're going to run a double screen on the far side for Lin for the shot. It's not a bad play.
Air ball.
Yeah, look, there's 5 seconds on the clock, so probably Lin might have been better off driving because there was a lane ahead of her.
That was Miranda.
Oh, Miranda, sorry, yeah.
Now you don't want to foul. You don't want to foul. And that was close.
That could have easily been a foul. Good defense, though, from Sambile.
So at halftime, it's 38-25. Chinese Taipei on top of the Philippines. So the shooting has gotten worse for the Philippines, just 2 makes from 3. Chinese Taipei have kind of slowed down as well in that regard, but inside the arc.
54% inside, Jeff, and a lot of that is Bao Shilei. There's the water being carried into that locker room there.
Yeah, I need that water. Where is it? They didn't give it to us today. I feel like a bit parched.
Have we got a runner, Jeff? Or no?
13 turnovers for the Philippines. That, for me, is probably the biggest disappointment because some of those turnovers are just self-inflicted.
Yep, absolutely.
So we're at halftime. It's 25 for the Philippines, 38 for Chinese Taipei. We'll be right back.
Bagay niyo po ba? Hindi na kayo nag-uusap. Sayang! Tapos gaganyanin mo ako. Wala.
welcome back everyone. Second half set to start. Just under 2 minutes to go before we get this one underway again. 38-25. The Chinese Taipei lead over the Philippines. Jeff, you just rushed over here from one side of the arena to the other. Did you?
I was trying to get some information
for?
on what the Philippines were going to be doing here in the second half because they're down 13. They've still got a chance, but I mean, do you see them getting back into this game immediately? Or do you think the tide of momentum is firmly against them?
It's going to be tough. I don't see this team being able to control the rebounding edge, and if you can't control the rebounding edge, you don't get second shots, and you might give up second shots. Therefore, it becomes a lot more tricky. 13 down. I think if Chinese Taipei come out soft, and Aquino's girls could well come back into this. But I'm
Although
not
that's not Aquino. He's on the bench though for the Philippines. So Chinese Taipei, not really convincing early on, but end up taking a 13-point lead to halftime. And we'll see if they can continue to keep their noses in front here against the Philippines, or perhaps if Cabin Ben can bring the Philippines back. There you see the quarter-by-quarter scoring. So second half action underway here. And it's Lin that's going to launch it.
Good rebound there from Philippines Lin. And again, Jeff, I'm not sure that I agree with this quick one shot, one pass, no pass policy of getting a shot away.
Yeah, it's one of these. Would you say it's a stylistic approach?
Yeah, well, it's a street way of playing, isn't it? Just going to jack anything up. I mean, one pick and roll, and Cabin Bin just fires up a three. I know she made one in the first half, but that foul was on Almazan as Bao had a good position inside.
I mean, is it fair to say it's in their DNA? That's how they have to play.
No, I think they love to play at quick tempo for sure. And there's the public enemy number one from, isn't it? Giving up offensive rebounds.
Well, you know, Aquino standing in front of the bench just had his hand in his head, and
all right, so back-to-back offenses, right? Nobody else has touched the ball
except Cabin Ben.
Cabin Ben. Now she scores that time, but again, I go back to it. Nobody else, and if you can't stop that, you're not going to get back in the game because you're just trading buckets now.
So Bao sat for a long time in the first half, but has come out, started making an impact here. Almathan drives in. And that finish wasn't there. Now Lan. And Cabin Ben. And Lim on the baseline.
Nicely worked there from Lin. Again, nice pass from Cabin Bin. And this is it. I'm saying they're not really going down the shot clock. You want to get disciplined, perhaps. You want to get back in the game, play it, make the other opposition play more defense than you.
Well, exactly. It's part of it, isn't it? Get them tired. Lin puts it up, and the three-pointer is good. And right now, just Chinese Taipei just kind of easing.
Yeah, it's too easy.
To victory.
Lin made a good three the first half. That looked pretty comfortable. Got a feet set in good rhythm.
And that time Cabin Ben got under just Actually had a good shot, just didn't finish.
She must have the green light, Jeff. I mean, just
Bow. And that's coming over the back on Huang Pingjin.
I'm not sure that is a foul, Jeff. You're just going after a ball. The fact that the defender doesn't jump, you get penalized.
Well, I understand your point, but did kind of land a lot of body
Jeff,
on Almathan.
Is that Aquino standing up by the bench, or is that one of his assistants?
Yeah, that's Aquino.
So he's taking his glasses
at the
off.
end. Yeah. D over to Lim. And the ball's bouncing around like a pinball in there, and Chinese Taipei end up committing a foul.
Yeah, came off Almazan, I think, straight to Ruzultai. I wonder if the team looks any better without his glasses on. Just saying. I know if I took my glasses off, any team would look better. I wouldn't be able to see much, that's for sure.
Well, Ruzultai gets that deficit back to 15, and now a little bit of full court pressure. And
this is much better.
D
Change
came
the
from
tempo of the
behind.
game, that's always important.
And no box out, and they live to tell the tale. An unsportsmanlike foul. And Ching is arguing that Lim should be penalized, but Lim walks down the court with a satisfied grin like a Cheshire cat.
I wonder if the referee's seen the reaction, not the action. There's your confirmation of Cheng's unsportsmanlike. There'll be 2 shots in possession here. We get a nice little replay, see what went on.
So you're suggesting that perhaps Lim baited?
Yes, I think it started down the other end, didn't it? Because Cheng hit the ground the other end on a rebound. I can't remember if it was from the free throw or not.
Well, you know what? You get the unsportsmanlike. You got a way perhaps back into the game. You need to go to the line and make your free throws, and Lim missed both. Just Lim doesn't seem the same player today. Not even yesterday.
No.
Against China. And Almathan, offensive rebound, and put back Lim, gets in. That's better from Lim, but doesn't finish. And, potential 4 or 5 point trip down the floor ends up with 0 points for the Philippines. And now if Chinese Taipei score, it's going to hurt. And blocked. Now here we go. Cabin bin, 3-on-3, and another foul on Chinese Taipei.
Nice work from Cabin bin. Just got muscled her way into the lane there on the fast break. She's getting a fair share of shots off. She's now 4 of 9 for the game. Played 14 minutes, 5 assists. So big game for her. She's taking more shots than anybody on the court for the Philippines. In fact, this is the one game where she's been almost let free, given free reign to shoot whatever she wants. Highest number of shots coming from Cabin bin this game for her.
So 14 points.
Still not without the realms of a comeback here, Jeff.
They need to stop, and then they need to go down. Chinese Taipei, though, looking, no, that's not going to be on. But then no rebound for the team in white. Chen goes baseline, passes, back outside, wide open. Lin, nope, off the back of the iron. And another rebound. So 2, 3, 4 chances. That was Lin, now Wu, and finally Wu hits the 3, and that is a killer.
And Ruzultai just hit the ground there. So I think pushed down by 11 for Chinese Taipei. Wong, I think second 3 for Wu as well. I think Lin's made a couple, Wu's made a couple.
And Almathon drives, and another foul's called.
Not sure who that was on. It looked like it was possibly 12. It is. First foul for Wu. Jeff, I just get the impression this one might get a bit testy. Just little elements, players pushed to the floor, and the unsportsmanlike foul as well.
Yeah, there is something simmering here. Almathon makes the first free throw, but this is the stakes. The stakes are high.
Yeah, sometimes the strangest of games just flare up, don't they?
You know, they're a bit of tired, annoyed, perhaps.
Yeah.
They haven't made it to the World Cup. Now, the long jump shot. Oh, a little bit of a push there from Chinese Taipei, and that's spotted by the referee here, right in front of us.
It should be 2 shots, Jeff, because the ball was off the rim and therefore no possession. Referees, the first day, Jeff, were wearing just straight black shirts, when now they've got the referee shirts of a ride. They're grey with the black trim here. Nice little yellow collar to them as well.
Yeah, I like it. I think they're looking sharp out there.
What do you think the yellow collar is, though? Is that just stylistic from
you look good, you feel good. You do a good job.
Good, yeah.
I think it's stylistic, yes. And a three-pointer, no good. And that ball will go back over to Chinese Taipei. You can't see it, but very close to the camera, the left edge of the screen. The Australians have come in. They're checking out the action. They're thinking, we're in Asia now.
Big game for them. Jeff, you don't think this yellow trim is like a degree of how good you are as a referee? So there's like a sensei level and a...
That's a good point.
There.
Three-pointer is good. That is a very good point.
Yep.
That is a very good point, Nick. You picked up on that. And now, unsportsmanlike foul. And on number 11, Bernardino is going down like a sack of wheat.
I love all the hands up in the air as if to say, "No, oh, she's very upset, Bernardino." We definitely need a replay of that one.
That was Wang Weilin, who was penalized with the unsportsmanlike. A shot to the gut.
She's saying a forearm, isn't she? Yeah.
So it was Lin.
Yeah.
As she was running past, it kind of stuck the left elbow right into the midsection. Is that almost?
See, the problem is when you're not if you're expecting that hit, okay, you can just about cover. But when you're not expecting it, and it just comes in, then you get winded quite quickly, can't you?
Okay, so you don't think there's anything cheap about it?
No.
Wu with 12 points. I mean, you know, this.
But I wouldn't try.
This lead is 18.
That.
You wouldn't try what?
Convince Bernardino that. I think she feels it was intentional. Yeah.
Certainly Wang looked at it like there was no intent. Cabin been with 11 points. I wonder if Bernardino's caught her breath yet. Yeah, okay, so she's at the line. Well, Wang is going to stay in the game. So they've had 2 unsportsmanlike fouls called on them here in the third quarter. And the Philippines have gone to the line, and there they make the first free throw. So they get 1 out of the 4 free throws to fall.
Well, a bucket here might give them a bit of momentum going into the end of the break between the quarters.
Coming up on the 4-minute mark here in the third quarter, and the Philippines looking for some inspiration. Who are they going to get it from? Pontejos isn't at the races today.
No, not quite the... just didn't get the ball up high enough. Everything looked good. You alluded to the $1 million move and the
$5 finish. 5-cent finish.
5-cent finish.
Huang is thinking there's no foul there.
There's a lineup.
So there's a foul off the ball.
Yeah, this is going to. I think the scoreboard's going to be like a Christmas tree for Taipei by the time we finish this one, I tell you, because the lights are going to be all up there.
Yep. They are blinking as we speak. Well, there's your free throw shooter, Animam.
Animam, yep.
She looks good. Gets it back to 15 points. And now a little bit of harassment from the
close.
Filipinos. Look at this. They're going to get the ball. They're going to tie him up. Oh, no, they're going to call the foul on Pontejos.
So close. Wow, that was the best hustle we've seen all game. And that's, maybe that's the way they're going to have to finish this game off like that. Very scrappy.
Not? Chen didn't like it. You could see. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's simmering. And now Chen is talking to the ref. Wu inbounds it, gets it back. Wang, long jump shot, and well, they got him to take a quick shot. Now Bernardino.
Last time Tonka was in the game.
The hairdryer treatment she got when she left.
Exactly right. So she wanted to make amends big time.
Here's Animam starting to feel it all of a sudden. And Philippines have just not finished a lot
Jeff, you
of their
can't
drives.
foul. You cannot foul. Tonko gets in good position now. They're arguing there's an elbow here.
Well, it's only the third team foul.
Yeah, but I thought Tonko did well. She'd chase down the dribbler, just hold the ground.
Bao, surrounded by three Filipinos, still catches it and scores.
Yeah, the problem is when she gives it back out, that's when you've got to do your work to make sure she doesn't get even further into the lane, which is exactly what she did.
Well spotted. Now, Pontejos.
It's not happening today, Jeff,
No,
for the
it's not.
number 22.
We got a held ball, and it's going to be possession arrow to the Philippines. (53-36). Pontejos, now she has some time, and now she hits the three-pointer.
Jeff, you know you've got a shooter when you get two shots off in 5 seconds and the first one's missed. You just keep going until you make one.
Well, that was a good shot. Feet set. Huang now tries to look for some room. Dances around over to Bao. Bao's behind the line. She wanted to take it. Gives it over to Huang Peng Chen. Now Pontejos has it. A chance to run for the Philippines. She goes to her spot. Nope, she passes it back out. Tomko. Sambile. And fouled by number 11, Wang.
Yeah, just got a bit too close, didn't she? Just trying to bother the shot of Sambile. Sambile is a good shooter, but the ball goes so high up, Jeff. You figure, well, just stay down, just get a hand up, and if she makes it, she makes it. Don't foul her and put her on the foul line.
So this is Animam goes out, and Lim comes back in. We're almost willing that to go in, aren't we? Because we want to see a close game.
Well, Sambile almost puts too much height on this boy. He's way up there.
Let's see a nice follow through. Gets it back to
Very good.
13 points. A little bit of momentum now for the Philippines. A little bit of full court pressure. Oh, they knock it away. Chinese Taipei get it back. Huang Fanshan in. Now Huang Pengjin. Good. That'll kill the rally.
That's a tough one, isn't it? Tough one to call, that one. Just when you're getting it close to 10 points, big time shot.
Lim. Pass goes back. Sambile. Oh, foul shooting. No, they're saying it was a 2, not a 3. But at least she will go to the line.
Tremendous, tremendous.
Here it is again. Look at this.
Just both feet on the line. It's a good call.
And the foul was kind of falling into her after the shot, presumably.
Well, isn't that 2 shots then?
Well, no, they count the basket.
Yeah, but if the ball's released.
Oh, I see.
There's a
No,
foul.
I think it's 1. Oh, Bernardino. Oh, much better from Bernardino. Oh, she's got to make the shot, Bernardino.
No luck at all there from Bernardino. Great move.
And now the pass goes out of bounds. I have to say, though, at times Chinese Taipei look terrific when they're hitting their shots, but they have been riding their luck a little bit with the Filipinos missing some very makeable layups.
Yep, exactly right. Now, I think Philippines have the right tempo here defensively for the 4th quarter, that's for sure.
You saw the turnover count there. Here's Lim. Gets in. Oh, Lim. No. And the shot, no good. And back to the Philippines. They've just about stayed in it. Looked like it was going to be over.
Bao got a terrible pass there, but she's so positive. She waves over and says, oh, don't worry about it, no problem. Just a real positive team member.
Bernardino again misses. Lim crashes the boards, doesn't get the ball though. Oh, Pontejos reaches around, tries to pick the pocket of Huang Fanshan, but with 23.1 seconds remaining, is unsuccessful.
Bernardino was unlucky there. I thought it was a great move baseline the previous play. Just probably got bumped too and deserved a foul.
And the 3-pointer, and that is a killer. Philippines have had their chances to get back. Shot clock winding down, and Miranda puts up a 3, and that is that. So there were some interesting moments there, but Philippines not really taking anywhere close to full advantage of some opportunities. They still trail now by 17 points. What do you think about those shooting numbers? Well, we'll let you think about it. Well, Chinese Taipei are, would you say they're beating the teams they're supposed to beat, but they haven't been able to get the big upsets. And where do you see them moving forward, Mick, in terms of getting to that next level?
That's an interesting question, Jeff. You'd have to go back and see. It's all down to talent identification when it comes to these federations, isn't it? What have you got in terms of coming through the ranks? What have you identified in all the age groups? So right now the under 18 age group is 1999 born. So from 2005 to 1999, what have you got identified for the next 6 or 7 years in terms of the juniors coming up? And then after you've identified the talent, what provision are you going to do? Are you going to put in place to make sure that those ID'd players then can progress into the senior national team? Men and women, of course. So I don't know what they've got. If you look at this here, this team is functional, but they're not going to progress they'll never now become, with the level they're at here, never become top 4 in FIBA Asia, I don't think. That bar is too high right now. Nice little high-low to Bao Shilei. You know, you've got one world-class player in Bao Shilei, and she's a real dominant force, that's for sure.
Did you know our sleuth statistician has just signaled to me that no Filipino player in this tournament is averaging in double figures. Now that could be a good thing and a bad thing, but maybe for the Philippines it's not a good thing. Because they've got a lot of people putting up shots.
Yeah, I don't know what their average per game is either. So the high for the tournament is only a 65, and their low is 43. So I would imagine their average is 58. So you wouldn't expect too many players to be in double figures anyway. Scoring 58 is a team total.
But they're missing shots is the problem.
Yeah.
And three-pointer for Chinese Taipei, and that's what you call a dagger in the first minute of the fourth quarter.
And the other thing, Jeff, you go and look through the games, that the number of players who've actually hit double figures is probably only 5, maybe, 5 or 6 maybe.
It was interesting. I was reading, because since we're in Asia, I was reading some comments from Julio Lamas, the Argentinian coach, who's used to coach Argentina as recently as the FIBA Basketball World Cup in 2014, and they're talking about the overall strategy for Japan looking forward. You see Bao get the rejection on Lim, and Lamas just said, listen, one thing that we are going to step up is to find, players in the U.S., for example, where they play a lot of basketball, who have connections or they're of Japanese extraction or who are able to play for the country. And certainly the Philippines have done that. And you just wonder if there is any talent over there. I mean, if he's going to say that, it makes you think they must think that there are some players that can help them. So maybe I wonder if that might be a similar situation with Chinese Taipei. I mean, you want to obviously have your own domestic leagues and pull players from that, but you also want to have the best team that you can.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And you coming from England also probably fully understand that, don't you?
I'll hardly agree. I mean, a nice move from Kevin Bin. Sometimes it becomes a problem when you bring players back who've got no association, 9, 10, 11 months of the year. So there is an element that you still have to go to what lives in your country. I know I'll give you an analogy, right? The Irish Federation went on that, and the number of players eligible to play for Ireland in America is potentially more than the population of Ireland itself.
That's true.
So they went on when they were flush with some money, they went on a binge of bringing Americans over, and it ended up being so costly. But the standard went up. But what was the legacy they left behind? What was the result of having a great senior team if the development at the lower levels wasn't going to be complemented? And it's not so much that the Irish don't have a good, solid team, because I think the under-18 Irish team right now is a good, solid team. But is it once in a blue moon team? Is it a result of solid development? Anyway, we're off topic slightly, but
you've gone to Europe. I want you to stay in Asia. I don't mind you using other countries, but let's stick to Asia.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's a good idea to go to the States to find. I don't think you're going to find that many players with.
Actually, I was the one that brought up to Europe, so I apologize. I said England. No. Look at this. Chinese Taipei lowering the boom now, 24 points, and when Aquino goes back, looks at the game tape, talks to his players about this, I'm guessing, he'll have some very choice words, because they've let an opportunity go, haven't they?
Yeah. I mean, the tall, long and the short of it is you've got to find some tall players, haven't you? If you find some tall players, you can complement those players with some shooters. Now, both these teams have good shooters. Only one of them has a big, outstanding five-man or five-player.
And you're talking about Bao.
Yeah.
And now the pass up ahead, and the
becoming
layup
a
from
route
Chen.
now, isn't it? One-way traffic.
73-44.
Load the runway.
I think
Kino's just buried his head into.
I think the discipline aspect of the Philippines is lack of discipline has probably hurt them in this game.
Yeah. Jeff, here's the other argument for countries like the Philippines due to bring an import in for the women's team. You know, the men's team have got an import. They've played with import now for
Good point.
5 or 6 years. Well, why not bring an import in for the women's team? Just bolster them up at one position. What don't you produce a lot of? Big girls, big women. So bring a five-man in, bring a five-player in.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I'm sure it has to have been an option that they've considered.
Yeah. I don't know whether there's a pro. I know there's a very good women's league in the Philippines, whether it's pro or not, and whether they bring foreigners in or not. That's my only issue with that. I know in the men's league you have the 3 leagues during the season, and a lot of foreign players come in. You know, it's either a 2 foreign league or 1 foreign league or a complete Filipino league, isn't it?
You know, Tim Lewis, British coach of Thailand. Speaking of foreign coaches, foreign players.
He's not still there though, is he? He's in the D League, I think now. Isn't he?
Oh, is he? Has he left? I
I
thought he was with Thailand still.
I'm not sure whether they're doing his summer job, but yeah, he was. I know that.
So Philippines trailing by 29. Is there any shred of hope for this team as they go into the 7th, 8th place game?
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting game, isn't it? Because Korea are out on their legs today, really look disjointed. Philippines, North Korea game, that's going to be an interesting one. Very interesting.
Yeah, my understanding is that Lewis is actually still in charge of Thailand.
Yeah.
And he has an interesting long-term project. And you see the long jumper stay out. And nothing but twine on that one.
Nice play from Ponteos. Yeah, now, if you're going to be a head coach and not be there during the year, then how do you put a program in?
And a three-pointer for Chinese Taipei, and they're getting up pretty sizable, pretty big number of points today.
So I've got formerly head coach here.
So Philippines
interesting.
have to.
So you say he's still involved with the Thailand team then?
Yeah, we're talking about Tim Lewis.
Yep.
You know him, don't you? Just give him a call. Find out. So Lan will inbound it for Chinese Taipei. And what do you think about Chinese Taipei, New Zealand battling off?
Well, there's a replay of the game, day 1 game, isn't it? And that was a humdinger.
To be honest, we saw better today from New Zealand.
I think New Zealand looked very good today, very confident, and I fully expect that to overflow tomorrow as well. They even to the point they got five. Oh, it's a poor turnover from Kevin Bin.
No, I think actually Tim Lewis has left just to draw an under, just to finalize that argument. Our researchers giving us too much information here to digest. Chen takes it across midcourt.
Who's your researcher? Name the source.
Now, Pontejos was thinking about taking it. Castro's going to take the long jumper. So it's been more of the same from the Philippines, really. You know, in every single game, they've had spells of good play, but then they've had spells of play where they just don't execute.
No.
They turn the ball over. They take, you know,
listen, if you're five-man
shots.
shooting 20-foot jump shots with no rebounders, and we still got 4 minutes to play, and she's getting subbed out now, Castro, for the. It's a shame, really, because she's got so much to offer.
The aim is you want to be in Division A. You want to try to qualify for the World Cup. You want to try to qualify for the Olympics. You know, you come out here, and if you play Division B, then you're trying to get to Division A. So if you're in Division A, you want to go ahead and make the most of it. And that's a frustrating miss for D.
Well, you go to Division B, and all of a sudden you're playing teams that you know you can beat, you know you're on the same par with. But the actual fact of playing against the top in the world is what you want to be, regardless of the scoreline. You know, that's what you play for. You play to be playing against better players, don't you? Make yourself better.
Lan off the front of the rim.
Foul there from Cheng, 30. She might be done. That's her 5th foul, yep. Well, they've got through their fair share of fouls, Jeff. We've got 1 fouled out, 1 on 4, and 3 on 3 up on that scoreboard. Philippines, on the other hand, have been fairly disciplined. Going to run Panteos off a double screen here for the jump shot.
Lim goes up, is able to draw the foul. Wang doesn't seem too amused from Chinese Taipei.
She's not moved, has she?
Huang, excuse me. Huang Sengting.
Smile on her face.
You know, if I'm Huang, I'm not worried about this. You know why? You're up 78-47. 3 minutes, 6 seconds remaining. You're going to win the game. So.
Oh, sure. Everybody knows. Yeah.
But I suppose an athlete, you compete on every play and you want to be successful, don't you?
Yeah.
So it's easy for us to sit here and say, don't worry about it. Oh, nice pass inside. Now that is nice basketball from Huang to number 12, Wu Yingqie. What is going to be your lasting memory of this Chinese Taipei team from this FIBA Women's Asia Cup?
Jeff, they've done as well as they could. I think, you know, if they'd beaten New Zealand, that would have given them a different draw. Maybe playing Korea, maybe a team they had a better chance of beating. But they blew that one. And therefore they landed up with China in the, was it Japan last night in the quarterfinals, which was a matchup that's, you know, it's just a different level, maybe a 2 notches up really from where they're at.
No, that was just Lim just hasn't really played well today. I don't know. Philippines under 2 minutes remaining, down 30. Oh gosh, guess what, Mick? There's 2 pigeons in here.
I saw the second one early on when you
flew
were
over us. Keep careful.
I say they got the whole place to themselves.
I just seen where they're sitting down now, right over the court. Interesting. So Chinese Taipei will be advancing to take on New Zealand in the battle for 5th place tomorrow here in Bengaluru, India. And the Philippines, meanwhile, are going to take on the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. 3-pointer is good.
Lan makes a statement there with, I think it's her first 3 of the game.
probably the more important of those two games will be the Filipino game, because if the loser of that game will drop into Division B, and then you've set yourself back, your program.
Yeah, absolutely. I think out of the 4 bottom teams, Jeff, the team with the greater upside has to be New Zealand. I think if you look at the Philippines, they have with the amount of money that goes into the men's league, I think they have the ability to put a lot more development into the women's game too. The Chinese Taipei will always have decent teams, there's no doubt about it, but they will lack. I just question what's coming through the ranks for them. I don't know at all, so couldn't make a comment. Hopefully they've got some good young up and coming players. And North Korea, you just never know, do you? You never know what they've got. I don't even know they even go to junior tournaments.
Well, you know, youth programs are the lifeblood of programs, so they need to be thinking about that moving forward.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's going to be a sizable victory for Chinese Taipei over the Philippines. Huang reaching over, and I think my most lasting memory of Chinese Taipei will first be the 17-point lead they built. I have quite a few, actually. I remember them coming back against China and forcing alarm bells to ring over there on the Chinese bench in that third quarter, even though China were still up by a substantial figure, like 20 points. I remember them, Chinese Taipei, building a 17-point lead against New Zealand in a vital game, and then the Tall Ferns battling back to win it. And I'll remember this Chinese Taipei team with their strategy against Japan, coming out and starting with 5 players, and like after 2.5 minutes, bringing in a completely different 5 players, and then after another 45 seconds to a minute, bringing in another 5 players, and that substitution strategy going, you know, until late in the third quarter, if memory serves me correctly. So yeah, certainly they've left us with some memories here. And then I'll remember today, you know, them coming out, and I think they've just got, they do that. I think they play more disciplined basketball than the Philippines.
Absolutely.
And this is the difference between these two programs.
And they've probably got better shooters, I think. In general, a little better shooters, better players.
Better finishers.
Yep.
So Lim finishes that one and gets it back to a 34-point margin. Nevertheless, it was not a game really in the second half. Chinese Taipei cruising to an 87-53 win. They will play New Zealand tomorrow in the battle for 5th place. So Mick, any closing thoughts as we take a look at the Filipinos walking off the court, and also Chinese Taipei, and also the statistics? I'm not sure what they're going to tell you, other than the fact that obviously the ones for the Philippines are worse, and especially the free throws. That is a horror show. 11 of 24.
Well, I think, you know, we came into the game thinking that Chinese Taipei were going to be favorites, Philippines were going to be the underdogs, and you know, it didn't disappoint in the fact that the favorite to win did win, and quite comfortably as well. 34 points. It's a big margin. Philippines 53 points. You mentioned about how they haven't had anybody averaging double figures. Well, they can't get out the 50s very well, really, can you? And you're not going to get a scorer. I mean, that's probably what they're missing, is somebody who can put 20 points on the board in a game and get that point total up to the 60s and 70s.
How would you know, in terms of coaching this team, the Philippines, and Aquino, where does he need to make a change?
In terms of coaching, I think when you come into a tournament like this, you prepare for the last 2 days, wouldn't you? Because you're not going to be preparing for the quarterfinals and semi-finals. You're going to be matched up with one of the bigs. So therefore, you're planning for survival. You're planning for this game here. What did we see from here, from the Philippines? I didn't see much organization. I didn't see much. Okay, how are we gonna play against a team like Chinese Taipei? We're going to make them play more defense than us. We're going to play with a bit more discipline. Where they were at the best, the Philippines, was when they were creating chaos defensively. But how long did we see it for? Maybe 4 or 5 minutes out of 40. So quite clearly not enough. You know, they don't have an offense that really gets everybody a touch of the ball. So therefore they're not moving defenses around. They're relying too much on one-on-ones, but they're not really creating one-on-one options that create a disadvantage. You go back to the way Korea played yesterday. They didn't look at anything until they got a switch out of a pick and roll. And they made sure New Zealand would run ragged every time they switched the screen.
Those are interesting observations, as always, from the professor. So thanks very much for those contributions. And we've got plenty more coming your way. And now we're getting to the nitty-gritty of we know the teams that are going to the World Cup. And how about now the teams that are going to get to the podium? Well, Australia will certainly start as favorites in the first semifinal against Korea, but you never, ever know. The Opals have to come out in their first ever FIBA Women's Asia Cup and prove they can go the distance. They have to prove they can beat a team twice. And they will be up next against the Koreans, who will be looking to spring the shock of all shocks and also the pressure off for that Korean team, having already clinched a spot in the World Cup. So that'll be an interesting one. And then probably the mother of all games that we have seen so far, Japan and China. That will be the second semifinal, and that will be one that you don't want to miss. So from Bengaluru, India, it's the FIBA Women's Asia Cup signing off. And once again, Chinese Taipei cruising to a big win over the Philippines to get into that 5th place game. And the Philippines falling now into the battle for 7th place against the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, a game they need to win to stay in Division A. Thanks for watching.